Trouble on the mountain has attracted the attention of the Green Wrecker, run by Al Quiring.
Yeah, 10-4.
I'm still fired up about it, actually. It gets my blood going. I don't believe he should be here. This isn't his area. He should stay down in the valley until with the other down there, as far as I'm concerned. But he keeps coming up here because he's got no work.
Al lives a 90-minute drive from the Coquihalla Highway. This is not his backyard.
Today's the day, my toes tingling. Maybe we'll get a 5 or a 6 truck jackknife.
Al is notorious for his antics.
We're backing down the hill here in a 2-lane highway.
You know, he's kind of off in his own world. Coquihalla making him go crazy this year.
He's willing to take bigger risks than just about anyone to scoop a job.
Need my big old Vulcan wrecker and my snap-on tools. What else could a guy want? Just a little snow.
But Al is no newcomer to mountain towing.
I liken it kind of to the Hatfield McCoys. Their family's been in it for, I think, 3 generations, and ours has been in it for this. We're just coming on to our 3rd generation. We've been competing in the towing industry for that long.
And with a family rivalry going on 3 decades, there's more than enough bad blood to go around.
It gets the hair stands up on the back of your neck if Al's getting you on a job. Adam just goes through the roof. He'll be talking about it for 3 days and phoning me up, and Al got us, and blah, blah, blah. And so I don't only get scooped by Al, but I also hear it from our own guys.
Their way of doing business couldn't be more different. Al is a one-man band willing to travel long distances to pick off the best jobs. Jamie has spent millions of dollars to base his yard out of the town of Hope right at the entrance to the Cove.
You're out of bed! Woohoo!
As far as Jamie's crew is concerned, the Coke is their turf, and Al is a poacher.
He doesn't like the way we do it. I don't like the way he does it.
They're all chrome and gleam. I'm a work truck. Their trucks are always shiny. My truck is dirty because I'm working all the time.
Al has the mentality that the whole world is his turf.
I see there's another wrecker going by right there. And I don't know if he's coming for this one or not, and I don't really care.
He's up here on the coke trying to scoop us. So I just hate to see him around here.
What would you rather pay for, 10 men or one guy that works like 10 men? How about that? Take that, James.
Al has good reason to be cocky. Jamie's #1 truck is down. The new $750,000 rotator has been benched by a 50-cent part.
That's a PTO gasket that fits on the air shifter for the PTO that engages and disengages the winch mechanism for the truck. When that gasket leaks, the tranny fluid leaks out. So the truck had to be shut down because had you kept going, you would have been buying a new tranny.
Jamie may have saved the transmission, but at the height of the season, the rotator is still stuck in the shop.
When it's snowing, you have to go out there and catch as much fish as you can. Having any truck down and not being available to make whatever scrap of money you could make is tough.
Just after lunch, a trucking company calls for help over the radio.
Just had a call. He needs to be pulled out because he is stuck.
For Al, the chance to pull a fully loaded tanker out of a ditch sounds like a good payday.
It was a 35-foot tanker trailer with a load of ethanol in it. He spun out and got himself over on the edge of the road.
It's a job that on any other day would go to Jamie Davis.
Just like a hunter that gets to the field first, he shoots the buck.
Yeah, 10-4, thank y'all.
Back at his shop, Jamie is still cooling his heels, waiting on a part.
So you just hear that?
No.
That job up by Apex or whatever?
Yeah, what happened?
Quiring's got it.
Really? How do you know that?
I have friends in higher places.
2 of Al's trucks went through town, heading out when I was coming out here to see you about your...
They were heading out.
Yep. Both of his trucks.
Really?
Both tandems.
The place we're going to is right up on the mountain there. If you see the buildings up on the on that rock face there, right behind the clouds now.
For a guy who lives on the edge of Vancouver, the remote call is a long way off his regular trap line.
We're in cougar country, not the ones with money. We're talking about the 4-legged furry ones.
To reach the wreck, Al has to navigate his heavy wrecker up a narrow gravel road.
Always drive like nobody is ever going to come and save you, and you'll be okay. Here's our guy right here.
When the rig spun out, the driver tried to back down the hill.
It's just too icy, slid into the ditch. And just couldn't get out there. Tried it a couple times before I get it too far in the ditch. We stopped.
The tanker is hauling methanol, an explosive fuel destined for a mine located at the top of the mountain. The truck is now near its tipping point.
If it flips over, we'll have a chemical spill, and that's not good.
Arrow hook on the far side and get it turned. Just leave your brakes on till you turn a bit.
If Al isn't careful, the tanker could topple over.
Just leave your brakes on. Oh, it's slippery.
Al gets the tanker out of the ditch, but he decides to stick around.
We take off and peel out of here. Chances are the next corner he's going to have a problem.
Al leads the tanker up the icy road. On one side of them, a cliff drops straight down to the valley below. So he's careful to keep his speed to a crawl. They make it through 3 sharp curves, but just before they round the last bend, the tanker spins out.
The guy might be stuck on that last corner. I think we're gonna have to go and pull that bad boy out.
The hill is too much for the tanker. The only way to get it up is to tow it. On the Coke, it's a routine job. The road there is wide, and a tow-up is easy.
We'll make some sparks.
But out here, in the middle of nowhere, the high mountain switchbacks are a whole other story. It's been a bad day for Jamie Davis. A blown 50-cent gasket has sidelined his $750,000 rotator. Now, a big job has been scooped up by his longtime rival, Al Quiring.
I'm the only guy up here, and I got the road open all day long, no problem.
But hooking up a loaded methanol tanker on a mountain back road
Here we go, guys.
turns out to be a handful.
Let's get this guy to the top of the hill. See if we make it that far.
It's a routine job back on the highway, but on a high mountain switchback, it's a big gamble. Recently, in Norway, a heavy wrecker tried this move in broad daylight. But the semi being towed caught a wheel and drag the wrecker over the edge. Incredibly, both drivers survived.
There's no point in fooling around. Let's get up there.
Now Al has to pull off this same move here in similar terrain and in the pitch black.
Think you're done? That's just when things are getting good.
Even with the horsepower of both trucks working together and Al's 12-wheel drive, they barely make it 50 yards before they run into trouble.
Spinning a little bit. It's like old man Winter's trying to hang on to that trailer so we can't get towed up the hill.
But Al backs off on the power and nurses the two trucks up the slippery road.
It's up there. This is painful. Going that slow.
His patience pays off. After 45 minutes, they finally reach the top. The mine gets its delivery, and Jamie's biggest competitor chalks up a win.
Nothing wrecked, nothing hurt. More importantly, nothing leaking.
Down in the yard, Jamie is impatient for his rotator to get back in the game. And the news of Al's victory last night isn't helping.
The competition is on your heels all the time. If you're not being competitive and you're not, moving forward with equipment and guys, you're gonna die.
Lately, more cars have been using the Coquihalla Pass, and that means more small wrecks. To keep up with the new calls, Jamie hired Greenhorn Rob to do the lighter duty tows.
Chains are too long.
Well, this isn't good.
Should I drag it like that up and then flip it up here?
But that hasn't gone so well.
No, but I went to pull it out though and it wouldn't come.
Get a sledgehammer out of my truck, out of the box.
Yeah.
And give it a tap because it's frozen.
It's like, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing here. Maybe I should just cut my losses.
So to fill out his roster, Jamie has hired a more experienced driver, Ken Monkhouse.
I've been riding around in tow trucks for 34 years. I have experience in all types of towing. If it involves a tow truck, there's nothing that I can't do.
Jamie recruited Ken in Vancouver, where only the strong survive in the dog-eat-dog world of city towing.
Ken understands competition. He understands who's on his back and who's coming for him, and he's following that game pretty big.
Whereabouts on the Coquihalla are you going, my friends are wondering?
He's, that shark that's going to go out and get that car and bring that business in here.
5-4 is on location. It's all about competition. It's all about winning. You have to go out there every day and win, no matter what the cost. Keep me going, keep me rocking. I'll work for 3 days straight if I have to.
Jamie has high hopes for his new driver, if only Ken can survive his first season on the Cove.
Got lots of truck drivers flying by at high speed. I'm not gonna go back into Vancouver with my tail between my legs and say I couldn't cut it. It's not an option.
Higher up on the Coke, Adam is on the prowl.
After the snow flies, you can't sit on your ass and expect to make money. You got to be out there hustling up work. You got to be listening to the radio.
He's determined not to let Al take another job.
Al trying to scoop us, you're just really rubbed to the wrong way.
But Al's not on the mountain. He's pulling into Jamie's yard to drop off his new brochure.
This pisses me right off.
Hey, James. I say if you need a tow, here's the information
I got a
brochure.
brochure. Oh, thanks, Phil. Well, let's park my truck. You sucked up all the business today.
It's like a big vacuum.
Get reports back all down the line. Al's already there. Beat me to it. Works harder.
We show up at fax machines now. We're modern.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
You suck up more work than all 8 of my guys put together.
Bring her on. This is winter.
Yeah.
Let's get on with it.
This has been going on for generations. It's money right out of my pocket.
Come on, get out of town. I gotta make some money now. Get back to Alder Grove.
But while Al is rubbing it in, Adam is still working the coke, and his persistence pays off.
Blocking that time freeway. There's blocking traffic.
At 9:40 p.m., the coke is shut down when 3 semis tangle up and jackknife. Adam is the first wrecker on the scene.
What a mess, eh, Terry?
Both southbound lanes are completely blocked.
The truck for that trailer is actually spun around. It's still hooked to it, yeah. Here,
It's on the other way. It's on the other way.
I'll have to swing it right around over to here regardless.
Highway authorities ask Adam to drag the wrecks to the side to get one lane open right away.
So as soon as we got single lane traffic, we'll just shut her down and get the traffic out.
Okay. This highways guy is pretty antsy to getting her going, so.
Because the rotator is still down, Adam had to call Hugo in one of the smaller trucks to help.
So I'm just going to tear this thing around and get it off to the side.
But the highway rep doesn't think that's enough firepower, so he calls up the competition.
As soon as Al Quarry gets here.
Al Quiring. With Heavy Rescue's best truck down, Adam is working short-handed on the coke.
As soon as Al Quarry gets here.
And the highway rep has called Adam's nemesis, Al Quiring, hoping to speed things up.
The idea is to get this red truck out of the way. Jamie's going to tow it down that way, out of the way. The next truck, Al Quarry should get it, and tow that away, and then we got single lane traffic.
The last guy Adam wants on this job is Al.
Just don't want him to get the job. That's my job. Just have a competitive nature, and I want to be the one doing it all.
That's my mandate, is to get the road open. It's always the way. And if it upsets some people, well, too bad.
I need just to pull up out of the way there, Hugo.
Okay.
Adam and his crew race to clear the mess before Quiring's green wrecker arrives.
Hey, Hugo, can you grab the front of that truck and spin it around now? Just spin it right around.
Should be able to.
Okay. Okay. Don't worry about your boom. Just keep winching. We're just gonna get it off the road for now. Just get him to swing it around, and we'll get old Bruce in here. He'll hook her right up, off of it up to the exit.
But 30 minutes later, the competition rolls onto the scene. Turns out, Al now has a night shift guy.
Want a hand?
Gord.
Oh, I got her. Gord is Al Quiring's driver. Guys like him come and go all the time. No comment.
With Adam on one jackknife and Gord on the other, the race is on to see who can get their wreck off the mountain first.
We'll be out of here for the goblin is.
The idea is to get the road open as soon as possible. We don't want to hold up traffic any longer than we have to.
I'm gonna yank this nose around, I'm gonna pull the whole thing down the highway. The cab on Adam's jackknife is twisted nearly 90 degrees and has become so wedged in a snowbank that it won't move.
I can't budge it. It's got a full load of pulp paper on there, which is extremely heavy, and I gotta try to pull this thing out, get it straightened around.
Across the road, the Quiring wreck is also stuck. Heat from the engine has melted the snow, and the truck is now frozen in place.
We broke it right off the frame, so we have to somehow rig that up.
The Green Goblin's having trouble.
But it's not going any better for Adam. He isn't sure if it's the weight or the snowbank that's holding back the truck.
Hook that chain on somewhere on the front there. Around the spring or anything just to get it swung around. The trailer should stay where it is, the truck will just come around.
Down the road, the highway rep is losing patience with Gord. He's struggling to rig his chains without doing more damage to the semi.
Cross the up. We gotta get that thing out of the way before we can hook it on.
Gord gives up on saving the hood. He hooks up to the frame and quickly gets the truck free. Adam gets the semi out of the snowbank, but he's still far from finishing.
Well, the load's too heavy to go down the hill, and they can't dolly off from the trailer because the landing gear is...
The cab and trailer are too damaged to be separated, but joined together, they're too uncontrollable to safely tow down the mountain tonight.
Nothing we can do.
There'll be no victory tonight. All Adam can do is leave the wreck in a rest area pullout and head home. It's been a long night on the mountain.
It's got a full load of pulp paper on there, which is extremely heavy.
A 3 semi pileup pitted Adam and Al Quiring's trucks head-to-head on the same job. Quiring's wrecker completed the job, but Adam had to leave a heavy load of pulp in a rest area on the Coke overnight. This morning, Jamie is heading up to finish last night's recovery. The mighty rotator is back in action.
Keeping the highway open. Partners in progress for safer highways.
Jamie's challenge is to lift the trailer off the cab so each can be separately taken down the mountain.
I'll get the legs out. Our biggest competitor, the Green Goblin, would never be able to do this kind of a job. He can go up and down the highway and, yell and scream on the trucker radio and tell everybody how great he is, but at the end of the day, he doesn't have the capability or the equipment. Hey, don't scratch the paint, man.
Jamie prides himself in always having the latest gear.
Is it heavy?
Yeah, it is heavy.
It's an obsession that started when he was just a teenager towing for his father's company. One day, when he couldn't finish a tow because his old truck broke down, Al Quiring's dad swooped in to finish the job.
Al's dad had beautiful equipment, way better than what equipment we had. I was so embarrassed. I think I went home and cried about it because it was just so devastating for me to not be able to do that job.
Every part of me is driven to have the latest, most innovative equipment available, and I'm able to put it together with the most extreme jobs that happen in this area.
Today, Jamie's bet on top-of-the-line gear pays off. Because the landing gear of the trailer was so mangled, there's no way to unhitch it from the damaged tractor. So the trailer needs to be lifted at one end, high enough for a relief truck to back underneath. And the only truck that can handle this job is Jamie's rotator, with its swinging crane arm.
Put your pin in, you can hold it.
He'll also be using a new piece of rigging called a spreader bar.
Spreader bars spread the stress, so they're perfect for what we're doing right here.
Jamie will use it to make a sling that will temporarily suspend the trailer.
Take that one around the other side. Take your shackle and lay it on the frame.
With the sling in place, he can lift the heavy trailer off the cab.
Come on, Adam, to pull the pin. Yeah, pull the pin. How are we doing?
Hey, right there. You can pull it out.
The smashed cab is pulled free, and the trailer is ready to re-hitch to a new one.
That spreader bar works really good. Got it nice and suspended. A relief tractor can back underneath it here. And that's what we want to do. We want to solve people's problems here.
Being able to go and tackle a big job like that, and with the crew we have and with the equipment we have, and make it look like it wasn't nothing, I go home happy, really happy.
Down the hill, new driver Ken is in search of cars that need a tow.
Drive up and down, look for somebody that needs some assistance.
Well, find something to put on the back, take back down into Hope, and maybe find something more.
Working the coke isn't like the big city towing he's used to.
When you're in Vancouver, you go to work, you call in your truck, you get a call, you get a call, you get a call, you'll get 12 calls in a row. Whereas up here, it's not like that. You get in your truck and you have to drive around and aggressively, actively pursue the work. They're closed their hood, they're done doing what they're doing. They're just putting windshield washer fluid in, so they don't need me.
After years of having jobs handed to him by a dispatcher, patrolling the coke is wearing thin.
It's not like you're going to work and you're making 20 bucks an hour. You're getting paid commission, so if the wheels aren't rolling and you're not finding anything, then you're not making any money. You're just driving around pointlessly. So it seemed kind of to me to be a waste of time, which really got under my skin because I do like to stay busy.
After 8 frustrating hours without finding a single job, Ken gives up and heads back to the yard.
Gamble didn't pay off. If this was a lottery ticket, we'd be throwing it in the garbage right now.
But not everyone is so easily discouraged. Adam has been working for almost 12 hours.
Coming up, you have to take it real easy. She's pretty slick.
So I'm gonna run to the top of the hill, see how much snow was out there. Just kind of gauge where we're at for the night. So we're a 24-hour business. We don't have enough guys to do shift work. So when you're given that truck, you drive that truck 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Nightfall.
Get rid of whatever's sloppy around here.
Jamie Davis is frustrated that his newest drivers are not pulling their weight.
I got the competition towing cars, and it's a real thing. It's a real problem. There's not cash, there's no trucks in the yard, and I'll be forced. It won't even be my own thing. This business will force me to do this. Get rid of whatever's sloppy around here. So, well, enough of that. We won't go on and on about it, so good.
Jamie's made his point. He made his point very well. If it doesn't snow, though, and there's no work, there's no work. I have driven up there lots of times during the day, and I've gone all the way to Larson Hill and back, and there hasn't been nothing. I'm new here, so I have to take his advice and Adam's advice and Kevin's advice and roll with it.
But before Ken gets a chance to hit the road, he gets a call from Vancouver.
Go ahead, buddy. Tow truck friend who I worked with for a couple of years had been hit on the side of the highway. He was going to lose both legs. He's a fellow tow truck driver, so basically he's a brother. He's me, but he's just a different guy.
As he heads out to work, the dangers of the job become all too real.
If that happened to me up on the hill and I got hit and they didn't stop and I'm lying there bleeding out, I would be dead. In 25 years I've been doing this as a job. I've been crushed, pinned, squished, put a hole in my eyeball, broke the orbital bone, tore my rotator cuffs, ripped my bicep off my arm, got crushed or pinned underneath the motorhome for 45 minutes in the snow. And tonight when it gets cold and dark, it's gonna be really nasty.
Under pressure to step up his game, Ken works into the night. The extra effort pays off when he's the first tow truck on scene at a nasty wreck.
Nobody ever wants to see me or Jamie or any of our other guys, but when they need us, we show up. That's what we do. That's what we've dedicated our lives to doing. And you know what? I'll be 90 years old and nobody will remember me when I came out and changed their tire in a snowstorm. But you know what? I did it and I helped somebody get along their way. So you can take some pride in that.
When he gets the wreck back to the yard, Jamie radios where it should be unloaded.
Put that in the bay there, Kim.
It has to go in the bay, or you just want it in the bay because it's going to be getting it off.
Police want it in there. I don't know why, but...
Please make this come off the back of my truck without hurting anything valuable. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Oh, great tow God. Okay, so we're just gonna do one quick shot here. Oh no, it's not coming off. It's just sitting there. Oh, hang on, am I being a moron? I might be being a moron. I could be possibly being a moron. Yes, I am a moron. Forgot to take the winch cable off. I'm a little bit tired. There we go. Sweet. Mission accomplished. Thank you, oh great tow God. Once again, you have blessed me.
We have a MVI on Highway 5, southbound, north of the snow shed. We have Fraser Valley traffic en route.
In the morning, a call comes in to clear a wreck at the top of the Cove.
A jackknife call came in, 2 lanes are blocked, and the nose post, the concrete meridian's been pushed out all over the place. So Adam took off. We're not going to let Al Quire get there first.
Tired of being scooped, Adam is a man on a mission.
I keep my foot in it anyways. I want to make sure I get there before you.
you were here. I called Quarry.
Well, the police called us, so I guess we better cancel Al, I guess. Well, I'm sure Al Quiring's bad-mouthing us on the radio right now.
Adam wins the race to the scene. Now he has to get the job done. But the wreck couldn't be in a more dangerous spot. It's trapped on a cement barricade. On one side, drivers speed blindly out of a tunnel. On the other side is the slippery bottom of the Cope's longest and steepest hill, known to truckers as the Smasher.
Holy
Adam wants to get out of here as fast as he can.
Oh, there's rescue right there.
His first challenge is freeing it from the cement dividers.
I need you to hop in there and kind of steer this thing a little bit. I want to get it, kind of pull it out from that guardrail, you know? Don't turn, eh?
What should have been a routine recovery
Unhook the cable.
has turned into a jigsaw puzzle of concrete blocks.
Pull on it. Okay. Okay. You get out of there, Brendan. Just wait. Pull on the cable.
Moved these things like 6 times.
After 45 minutes of juggling concrete,
Oh, that's good, that's good.
Adam chalks up a win for Jamie's team.
I did the wreck myself, and I was coming down the highway with it before Al even got there. It's always funny when you pass them, because they always got their hand on the wheel, and they're just looking at you when you're driving by, and you just wave at them, and you can just know they're pissed. It's just funny.
Coming up, the high risk of towing hits painfully close to home.
I hear sirens are coming.
After a long and stressful week, Ken finally gets a day off. But it's a day he's been dreading.
So we just go down there and see how he's doing. And that's what we're gonna do.
Ken is driving to Vancouver to visit an old tow buddy who nearly lost his life on the edge of a highway.
Lower mainland roads were ugly today.
The accident was captured by a local news crew.
He was shocked to see this red car had slammed into
A passing car slammed into the back of a tow truck. Ken's friend was caught in between.
I hear sirens are coming.
The only people that care about tow truck drivers is tow truck drivers. We kind of got to hang out together. We got to socialize together. We got to work together. We got to watch each other's butt. It could be me laying there in that bed with no leg, and hopefully people that I know in the towing industry would come and see me and give me some support. Just going to try and keep my stuff together and, you know, not shed any tears. Buddy.
Hey.
How are you?
Well, you know, things have changed a little.
Oh my God, Martin. How's this one doing?
Well, I've had 5 operations on it.
Holy
I had
God.
3 last week.
Wow, 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 wow.
And it was busted in 10 places.
Gee.
I'm on the ground. My leg is gone. My other leg is in like 12 pieces facing the other direction. And there's a car by my head.
You stayed conscious through all that?
Actually, I even phoned the dispatch. As I was in survival mode.
You stayed conscious through all that and phoned the frickin' dispatcher.
I swear to God.
Well, no, I knew you were a tough guy, man, but I didn't know you were that frickin' tough.
But you know, I'm gonna survive. I'm gonna get a prosthesis.
I don't think I could take it as well as you're taking all this, dude. Seriously, I mean, that's freaking
Well,
unbelievable.
the thing is,
I'd be a basket case, you know.
Well, it's either I could be moping around but
Yeah.
that.
Broken tire chains now litter the cove and are wreaking havoc with snowblowers.
Chain. Yeah, we got chain wrapped around the drive shaft on one of the paddles. So pick up lots of those.
Gonna be a little bit nuts to work up here. Yeah, well, I guess I'd fit right in.
The break in the weather doesn't give Jamie and his crew a chance to rest either.
There's trucks that have been left in the ditch because of the storms. These things aren't blocking traffic. They were just left to sit there for a while. And now we're going to get set up and pull them out while we can.
There's so much to do. Jamie doesn't even mind that his nemesis, Al Quiring, has turned up to work the cove.
Right now, I would say that Al Quiring is the king of the cove.
A non-stop towing machine.
You know why he's the king of the coke? Because I let him.
Jamie has had every wrecker in his fleet on the road around the clock for 3 days.
It's minus 23 at wind chill today.
The cold and fatigue are taking their toll.
Feel like I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba. It's so cold. Okay, tell him, watch him with the brakes, Kevin. Let's pay attention here.
Tiredness is kicking in.
Damn it, you gotta pull!
Then, guys will start fighting and yelling with one another.
Sammy, listen to me. When you don't pull that line, it gets up on the drum.
Here, look at the blowing snow. Look at this. Holy cow.
While Jamie's crew struggles with wind in the valley, high up on the mountain ridges just above the Coquihalla Highway, blowing snow has created a serious new hazard.
The top of the peaks have kind of a wave. The snow is blown over the edge, and it blows over it, and it makes what they call a cornice. So it sits there, builds up, it's getting heavier and heavier and heavier, and eventually gravity just takes it down, and the next thing you know, you have an avalanche.
As long as the wind blows, the cornices will continue to grow into a ticking time bomb.
Brakes on for a minute. Brakes on.
For now, Jamie can't be too distracted by the avalanche risk. He's got trucks to clear and a crew begging for downtime.
Always out of the corner of your mind, you're thinking, you're looking up, and you're watching, you're doing your job, and you're thinking about it, and it's weighs heavy on your mind. You're in the kill zone.
The good thing about this deep snow is it's pretty soft and forgiving, so there's pretty much no damage to this guy's truck. And he's going to be pretty happy about that, so he can pretty much drive it away and take it and go.
After another tough day on the coke, Jamie's crew heads back to base for a much-needed break.
Been a long day, eh, puppy dog? Puppy.
We've been going hard for 3 days. We need to sleep now.
When you've done a wreck or two in a row, you're pretty beat, and basically you're dragging your ass. It takes you a couple days to recover. We call it wreck lag, kind of similar to jet lag.
But one crew member just keeps going. At 64, Bruce Hardy is Jamie's oldest and most seasoned driver.
Yeah, come on.
I worry about Bruce all the time.
There we go.
We sent him on a job not long ago, and we didn't hear from him for 2 days. And we're starting to wonder, is he at some truck stop, passed away? He works his damn ass off. For an older guy, it's a tough deal.
That thing out of my face right
Apparently there's a storm blowing over from Clinton, or from Clinton to 100 Mile anyway.
Up on the coke, the highways crew knows that their freshly plowed roads won't last for long.
Copy 5x5, go ahead. We're starting to get snows picked up on the hill in here pretty good. All the stuff is to a moderate. Okay, thank you very much, and welcome to the jungle.
Okay, 10-4, thanks.
Derek Kitamura is running the show tonight.
Just gonna go up to Zopkius, brake check, take a look, see what the snow levels are like and the accumulations, and see how hard it's coming down up there.
At just after midnight, the new storm arrives.
15 minutes ago, nothing was happening, and then all of a sudden the skies have opened up. Looks like some trucks are having problems going up the hill.
It's Derek's job to decide when to turn on the signs, making chains mandatory for all vehicles on the cove. To keep traffic moving, he'll hold off as long as possible.
What is this trucker doing? Now he's stuck.
But the first spun-out truck makes the decision for him.
Looks like we're gonna put the chain up like that. We're on our way down.
These are the early stages of what's to come. So hopefully we'll be able to keep things manageable and under control.
At the bottom of the mountain, the pullout for chaining up is overflowing with big rigs. To avoid chaining up, some truckers decide to take a detour.
The Fraser Canyon is often used when the Coquihalla gets really bad because it's closer to sea level. You got less chance of snow and less chance of having to chain up.
Also called Highway Number 1, the Fraser Canyon route is not without its own risks.
The problem with the Fraser Canyon, it's a 2-lane. It's only 1 lane going each way, so if something goes wrong, it's not like the Coke, where you can at least open up a single lane to get traffic through.
Tonight, Highway 1 proves to be even worse than the Coke.
Are we all stopped there? Northbound, we're at a complete stop here. Yeah, they're turning traffic around just outside of Hope there.
A head-on with a semi has taken the life of the driver of a small van, and the road is closed.
It's hard waiting and just thinking about the family of this person. It's very hard.
Adam has been called to open the road.
Just coming on the scene here now.
31 from 30. Yeah, we're good to go.
Just get it straightened out, get it off the road, and deal with it up at the next pullout. Just get her on there any old way.
Give you a rehook for sure.
We'll rehook it up later on.
The pressure to get the road open is intensified by an even greater risk.
Just been warned by the road area manager that we're getting close to a moderate avalanche risk in the area that we're in.
The growing snowpack up on the peaks has triggered an avalanche warning.
Basically have to move everybody right now. We're not even supposed to be out here.
Okay, thank you very much, and welcome to the jungle.
Yet another blizzard is slamming the Coquihalla Highway. Down in the Fraser Canyon, conditions are even worse. A fatal accident has completely blocked the road.
Just get it straightened out, get it off the road.
To add to the pressure, now there's the threat of an avalanche. Authorities want Adam to get the traffic moving right away.
We're getting close to a moderate avalanche risk in the area that we're in. We have to move everybody right now.
But he still needs to clear the totaled van.
Sure, yeah, that'll do. Hook the hook on that. We don't usually tow cars of this thing, but I'll get it up off the road to the pullout, and then they can start working on the highway. Hopefully it holds together.
At just after 2 in the morning, traffic starts rolling again out of the danger zone. But the fierce storm only worsens.
Yeah, just to be advised, we still have that spun out truck in the southbound lane. Got to go around him.
By morning, it's pounded the Coke with a foot of fresh snow.
Hey boys, how's the Coquihalla doing up there? It's nothing but bad news. Got a foot of snow up there.
For many, even with chains, the battle to get over the mountain is being lost.
It's been good until now. I was crawling through.
Really?
The tires are really crummy, and we can't make it up even this little bit of a hill.
5373.
This is the most snow I've seen in my 5 years.
Every time we go down there and plow it, it's just like we haven't even plowed it, and it's just a matter of making one around.
Everybody go. I can't do anything when you're here.
I'll tell you, it's a good day for jackknives up in the top.
Watch yourself!
At the summit, Adam is pulling a truck that got stuck on the smasher. Until the spun-out vehicles can be moved, the plows will have trouble getting by to clear the snow.
Snow and heavy right through to Princeton. It's just throwing on one set of chains or chaining them all up?
But for some, the biggest worry isn't on the road. It's high above it.
The more it snows, the more hazard you have. They're worried about slides off these steep slopes here. And if that happens, well, then the highway's totally shut down.
On either side of the Coquihalla Highway, there are long, narrow clearings in the trees. These are old avalanche paths called chutes, marked with evidence of past snowslides.
When you're heading up the Coke and you're driving along and you're looking left and you're looking right and you're watching these chutes come down, it's just like being in a bowling alley, you know, and you never know when that big rolling ball is going to come down and you know, take you out or take out traffic or the highway.
When the highway was first built in the mid-1980s, engineers worked with avalanche techs to wind the road around the avalanche chutes. Where they couldn't, they built a snow shed. It's designed so that an avalanche can pass over the road without stopping traffic. Ed Campbell was one of the AvTechs who helped map out the road more than 30 years ago. Today, he leads a team of avalanche technicians tasked with monitoring the snowpack.
We've had almost 200 centimeters of new snow in this last week and a half. So that's a lot of snow. Even for here, that's a lot of snow.
This year, the Coke is on track to set a new snowfall record. Since the start of the season, enough snow has fallen to bury a 3-story building.
The best indication of avalanches is avalanches. So I'm watching to see if there's any new ones, how big they are, and how far they're running.
Their biggest concern now is all the backed up traffic.
You know, you don't want to be in those zones. You want to be out of the avalanche zone at any price, any cost. You don't want to be sitting there. Dangerous.
We're in a considerable hazard, is what we would call it. So we can't have people stopped in the avalanche paths, right? You know, the odds of an avalanche actually hitting a car is kind of low. You know, the majority of the time there isn't a car right at this spot. But on a busier road, the chances go up. And then when cars are stopped, well, if an avalanche ran, the chance is 100%.
Drivers are getting impatient. Some have gotten out of their cars. A foolish move in avalanche country.
When the cars are stuck, the plows can't move, the roads get worse, more cars get stuck. It's a compounding problem. It sort of starts to snowball.
At just after noon, the worsening conditions of the Coke combine with the growing snowpack above to force their hand.
Advised, I just spoke with Department of Highways. They're just issuing a road closure of the Coquihalla due to high avalanche hazard.
Closed. High hazard. Highway's closed.
If the cars had been moving smoothly, we wouldn't have closed. But as soon as we started having multiple areas stopped, multiple clog-ups, you have to factor these things in.
Well, the idea now is to get everyone out.
Highway crews start the slow process of turning vehicles around and sending them back down the mountain. Up top, Adam is rushing to free a stuck semi.
Have him hold his brake for a minute.
Knowing the risk, he wants to get this truck off the highway.
I don't really want to be up here because you never know, eh? This is an avalanche area, so I don't really want to be sitting here if one happens.
But 10 minutes later, Adam runs out of time.
We got a runner
record-setting snowfall has closed the coke, and the silence has just been shattered.
We got a runner here, I think.
By the low rumble of an avalanche.
You see it? No, look at that.
Closing the coke paid off. But now, even road crews have to get off the highway.
These vehicles must be out of here right now. Everybody go. Here, Ron, an avalanche came down right there at the chain up. You see that? Holy crap. They got slammed here pretty hard, boy. Holy.
You guys have to go around. There's an avalanche.
They just had an avalanche go across the road at the bridge.
Did they?
Yeah.
Right across the whole road?
They say a big cornice came down, took the whole slope out. It was a big deposit. The hazard is now high.
So they're gonna close the roads for indefinitely.
Definitely.
That's a 2.5-hour drive to get home now.
The avalanche crew investigates the area where the snowslide reached the highway.
The highway's closed until we can see what's going on. It's speculation at this point, but it's probably cornice failure.
If one cornice has failed, there's a good chance more will follow. Eliminating this danger and getting the coke reopened is now up to Ed and his crew. Their plan is to give Mother Nature a little nudge.
We're going to try to start off our control today with a shot or two right near the Coquihalla summit.
Marked out in red ink, these are the start zones for the big slides.
You and the other crew can go to the summit.
There's lots of ways to do explosive avalanche control. Cannons, avalanche guns, shooting the projectile. There's hand charging, there's helicopters throwing them out the door.
But for this mission, their tool of choice is an explosive.
Nothing gets you feeling more alive than having lit dynamite inside the helicopter.
Their plan is to fly above the ridge and to drop explosives directly on the built-up cornices, triggering a controlled avalanche.
We want to go as high as we can on the start zone. You start something low down, there's still potential of some of the deposit being higher up yet. And you want to try to get it all.
But when they get in the air, they hit a new problem.
What's visibility like, Colin? Not great.
Low-lying clouds are making it impossible for them to reach their targets.
Fuse is split.
They decide to drop their explosives anyway.
And shot it away.
Hoping they might break a cornice loose from below.
There's one there. The first one. No result, hard. I was hoping it would knock that cornice off.
The bombs trigger a few minor avalanches, but don't budge any of the higher cornices.
Yeah, not pulling out any slab below.
No, we've got to go in. Back to the barn. Yeah. Bummer.
The avalanche risk remains high, and so the coke remains closed.
If you want to turn around here and go back to boat.
Back at the yard, there's no rest for the weary.
Who told you to do that?
Jamie is in a hurry to chain up one of the older trucks for an emergency job. A stuck snow grader is blocking the only access road to the town's water supply.
If this job isn't handled properly, the town's out of water.
Jack it up more. Come on. Jack it up. Hurry up. Well, they're waiting. They're waiting.
So when it's time to move, they gotta move.
Fast as you can go. This a 24 or 22?
Doesn't look like it.
Is it the wrong size? No reason for this thing not to be chained up right now.
I don't care what's going on. If you don't pull your weight, go home.
Jamie isn't the only one who's impatient. The truck's driver is eager to stop fussing and start towing.
They got to get their together, everybody. A lot of these new guys can't keep up the hours that the rest of us can. 64, I can go 36, 52 hours without sleep. Doesn't bother me.
He's a heavy smoker and not the fittest, you know, but he holds his own. He does.
Back down or drive down?
Back down.
Because the road is too narrow to turn around at the top, Bruce has to back his way in for 1.5 miles.
It's quite narrow into a steep hill. Be careful.
The risk is that Bruce can't see all corners of where he's going. The truck could go over the edge.
Hang on, Bruce. Slow down. Slow down and get steeper. I think we're home free now, Bruce.
It's not a bad road. I've been on worse.
Far worse. 2 years ago, Bruce's career nearly ended when he was almost killed on the job.
He was pulling a truck out of the ditch. A car carrier comes screaming down the hill, and the trailer hit the tow truck, and Bruce got rolled down the whole length of the tow truck and thrown in the ditch, and the car carrier didn't even stop.
He had a punctured lung, and he was bleeding internally. I know he had broken ribs. He was beat up a lot worse than he thought he was.
After surviving all that, everyone assumed he would retire.
Push this one. Let's go away.
But one day, 6 months later, Bruce showed up at work. Why he came back
What do you think, Bruce?
is still a mystery.
I've always wanted to ask him why he came back to work, but he doesn't like to talk about it. I don't mind talking about it when I get hurt, but to him, it's a sign of personal failure.
Yeah, that's ancient history.
Right now, Bruce's challenge is getting this grader unstuck.
It's kind of tight in here, and this is a big machine. It's not a small girl, so we're gonna probably pull from here somewhere.
The grader is blocking the entire road, so there's no room to roll it forward or back.
Come on!
We gotta make sure we do the job right. It's a job that I need to finesse. I need to be there, and I need to make sure that it's babysat the whole way.
Well, it's gonna drag on there a little bit, so it's gonna be tougher than you think. Slow but sure, eh?
To free it, Bruce will need to lift the front end carefully and swing it onto the road without flipping it. A tricky maneuver that requires delicate hands.
Truck's lifting up a little bit. It'll come.
But Bruce doesn't do delicate.
He's the typical guy where you just hook a chain onto it and you start pulling or start dragging, and watch out.
It's gonna be tougher than you think. So slow but sure, eh?
Jamie's oldest driver, 64-year-old Bruce Hardy, has a motto: when the pulling gets tough, the tough keep pulling.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Bruce, he'll just do what he wants to do regardless of what you tell him to do. You know, he's his own guy.
Bruce's hook slipped off, but nobody's hurt, and the grader is out of the ditch.
Job done good, no damage whatsoever. There's no way in hell Adam would have got in here.
Take it and go.
Take it and go.
He'll get the job done. He'll do it his way, though.
The Coke has now been shut down for going on 6 hours. Truck drivers that can't wait for fairer weather have no choice but to take the alternate routes.
Now you can go Highway 1 or Highway 3,
Highway 3 is an old 2-lane road that wasn't designed for today's high-powered rigs. Winding and narrow, It's the route of last resort. Shortly before midnight, one unlucky truck driver finds out why.
When the truck went in the ditch there, it trapped the occupants of the vehicle. We call it search and rescue.
The driver, his wife, and their pet dog were trapped in the cab for over an hour before being rescued.
It just took off on him. He couldn't brake, he couldn't do anything. Couldn't steer out of it or nothing.
Adam is out of bed and on scene just after 3 a.m.
Luckily, he didn't go down much further, or else he would have rolled into the creek.
The loaded semi is teetering on the edge of a steep cliff. In this darkness, it's in too precarious a position to risk a recovery.
Just all the hidden dangers that we can't see right now.
Adam decides there's nothing more he can do for now.
I think we'll just pack her up and get the hell out of here and wait for some more daylight and extra help.
By morning, the storm has passed.
Get your seatbelt on.
Today, Jamie is going to help Adam recover last night's wreck.
Good day for a wreck, eh?
Yeah.
He brings along 8-year-old James Jr.
James is not at school today, and you're gonna learn how to be a wrecker guy?
Maybe.
That's where we're going, is our accident.
The truck went off the edge after hitting ice on a hairpin turn. Adam is already on scene.
These people are lucky to be alive. I mean, they're hanging off of a cliff here that's 650 feet down. This is a hard job.
What makes the job hard is that the loaded trailer is almost completely undamaged, and Jamie intends to keep it that way.
Like, I can get in here and lift this trailer, no problem, then what? How do we hang onto this front end, right? It's not that we couldn't pull this out.
No.
Another option is we try to disconnect it, but there's a lot of pressure on that pin, and it's probably highly unlikely we're even gonna do that.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to have another rotator here.
You think so?
Yep. We need another rotator right on the front end of this truck to do the least amount of damage.
2 rotators with their 2 boom arms extended out over the cliff could lift the 40-ton semi without damaging it.
Pick the whole thing up and bring it up over this bank. Come on, James. We're gonna phone Uncle Jason to come and give us a hand here with this one.
Is he gonna get paid though?
Of course he'll get paid. You don't think he should be paid?
No.
No?
Jamie's brother, Jason, runs his own heavy rescue business, but he and his rotator are 2 hours away. Just a few miles to the north, the Coke has now been closed for over 20 hours due to a high avalanche risk. The truck stop in the town of Hope is crowded with drivers, eager to know when the highway will reopen.
See, if the truck ain't rolling, I don't make money. But there's nothing you can really do about it. Last I heard, they were gonna assess it 9 o'clock this morning and let us know what time they would reopen the road.
Today, the clouds have lifted.
All ready in the back? Ready? Lifting. Okay. Back in the air, 2 on board. Okay, where are we going? You behind us there?
Yeah, to the left, yeah.
Okay.
Just about our level here there now.
They close in on the biggest cornice, packed with tons of overhanging snow.
Say the word.
Now, they've got to drop a bag full of explosives smack on top of it.
Okay, are you ready there, Paul?
Yep, I'm all set.
Igniters on. Igniters on.
And fuse lit.
Fuse is lit.
Stop the wind.
Okay, let's go high. You have a visual?
Are we gonna get air blasted here?
The Coquihalla Highway has been closed for over 20 hours. To get it open, high-flying Avtechs need to blow apart snow-packed cornices.
Okay, are you ready there, Paul?
Yep, I'm all set. Fuse lit.
Fuse is lit.
Stop the wind.
That's tough, no problem.
I like it.
Okay, let's go high.
Looks like another slab went.
Coming out
Yeah.
Those are good ones.
Right, I'm gonna get an award for this one.
Awesome target selection. Yeah, the target selection was what the count is, yeah?
Bullseye.
Yeah, that's the object of the exercise.
We're gonna go stop the water and houses.
For almost a day now, the highway has been closed to all vehicles. No traffic, no plows, and 6 inches of fresh snow. The challenge of getting the Coke reopened is now in the hands of Blair Barr.
So I'm just gonna hop out and take a look.
Clearing this much snow would normally take 8 hours. Blair and his team have to do it in 4.
Hopefully the plow truck will be able to make it up the hill. With this heavy wet snow, it'll be a tough push.
The hazard's been reduced to moderate. We can work right through the whole zone now.
Okay.
Pressure to get the road open is enormous.
You have millions of dollars in equipment and cargo stopped.
This is a main corridor feeding Vancouver to the interior of BC. So any delays in opening this highway really do create a lot of complications for a lot of different people.
To meet a 4 o'clock deadline, snow removal crews are throwing in everything they've got. Over on Highway 3, Jamie's brother Jason has finally arrived with his rotator.
That's your cousin.
He's got enough equipment to do it all on his own just about, so I'm surprised I got the call.
With the Coquihalla closed, Jamie has no choice but to keep Highway 3 open to traffic.
With these rotators, we're doing the job without blocking the road, so there is no road closure happening here. Just sit it on top here, right on the berm, and then we'll move across one more time and give it one more pull.
The plan is for the rotators to lift the semi from either end, while Adam's truck keeps it from falling any further down the cliff.
I'm gonna pull the trailer back as they're lifting, so I need these chains to hook my lines to so I can winch it backwards as they're lifting it up out of the ditch.
But first, they have to rig harnesses underneath the truck.
It's really deep down there, just so you know. Almost had to get search and rescue to pull me up when I was down there the morning it happened.
Alrighty. I need to pick.
A small stream running under the front of the truck has formed a thick sheet of ice, cementing it to the ground.
Perfect.
As long as I break it up, could just poke through on that end, we'll be good.
The 60-degree slope gives Jamie a chance to show off some of his finer moves.
Hang on. Roly-poly! Can you get it there?
And 8-year-old James Jr. thinks rigging looks fun.
Hey, you can come. Grab on the cable and pull yourself down. Long ways down, eh? Okay, good. It's enough cable.
Now comes the hard part.
Tell him just to suck up his weight.
Getting back up.
Just remember, it's hard to get back up the bank, right? Go this way. Go around that way. You just stand right
An
there.
hour later, it's rigged and ready. But there's a big risk. There's no way of telling if the cargo inside has shifted or not.
You can't open the doors in that trailer and find out where the load is, because if you do, you've just, breached the integrity of the box. So you make that guess, you go up there and you hope that that's the right guess.
So Jamie has to gamble on how to balance the load.
And you never know everything. We could end up having a situation where we do have a lot of weight all concentrated in this front end. If he took a sudden stop or something, we don't know that yet.
If he hasn't found the exact center of gravity, the off-balance trailer could plummet down the canyon. possibly taking one of the rotators with it.
We'll probably have to bring it up, set it back down, and grab the center, right? So we're not going to KO that guy's bumper.
He's going to get something.
Oh, understandable.
I want to save this truck and do less damage to it. I mean, we might get some damage to it coming up, but we're going to try to keep it to a minimal. There's a good possibility if the trailer could break her in half. You don't have X-ray vision to see in that box to see what's going on. There must be a pile of weight in that thing. I want to pick it up a bit more. Go up high, lift it about 3 or 4 feet. I'm gonna boom in a bit, okay? Pulling against each other a little bit.
Okay, pretty soon I'm gonna have to boom out, Jamie. Hold on, hold on.
Stop!
Jamie has called in his brother Jason to help him pluck a loaded semi off the edge of a steep cliff without causing a dime of damage.
So let's go up high, lift it about 3 or 4 feet.
The two rotators have managed to get 40 tons of truck dangling in midair.
Okay, pretty soon I'm gonna have to boom out, Jamie. Hold on, hold on.
Wow.
But now, they've got no place to put it.
So we're afraid of losing it right now. And we don't want to take any chances here. This is a pretty critical thing. Let's get this thing on the ground as quick as we can. So what we want to do is just get it in tight, reset, and do another pick where we're a little more comfortable with it. We're right on an edge here, so it's very possible for this trailer to flip over.
To make room to set the truck down, Jamie's rotator needs to briefly release its grip.
I'll just kind of move ahead a little bit.
He has to move over.
It's unnerving a bit even to us guys who've been in it a long time to have that thing hanging there, so.
Hey, Tommy, ready?
Just get it in here and on the road.
All right, Jim. Hey, hey, hey.